A horror film that is a true story? Huh. Okay, let's do this. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for another review. So today we're going to be reviewing the film The Banishing, which is going to be premiering on Shudder as a Shudder original April 15th. Now, this film is really driving hard on the idea that it is a true story. But of course, there are things available such as Google and all of the internet resources to find out if this is true. And I mean, regardless of me like taking it at face value or not, you watch the film, you want to know like, yo, is this place really in existence? Because I want to check it out. I mean, that's literally just a natural result of watching the film. You want to know more about it. And so I did a little bit of searching, a little bit of Googling, and I found out a couple of things here. Now, this is again being billed as a true story of the most haunted house in England. But the film actually never ever tells the location or names this building at all. So I searched and I found out that I think they're talking about the Borley Rectory, which is located in the village of Borley in Essex. Which, if you do want to check it out, cool. But you're like about 50, 60 years late, 70 years late, because it was torn down in 1944. But I also found out upon the searching too that there's a book called The Most Haunted House in England, 10 Years Investigation of Borley Rectory. But the film has no connection to this. So essentially this makes this just a new story. So if you sum that all together, this is basically based on a true story, which essentially puts it in the same categories as other really popular horror franchises, such as like The Conjuring and whatnot. So that's cool. And overall, I enjoyed the film. Up and down, I enjoyed the film. Jessica Brown Findlay, who's from Downton Abbey, is your lead here. Does a fantastic job. Really enjoyed her performance. And with everything that's happening in this film, you really need someone a strong performance, who can really pour on the emotional value and suspense, like she did in this film. So also, this is from the director Chris Smith, who's done Creep and Triangle, if you're familiar with that. But what's happening in this film is that, we're talking about, again, a true story for the most haunted house in England. A young reverend and his wife and daughter move into a manor with a horrifying secret. When a vengeful spirit haunts the little girl and threatens to tear the family apart, the reverend and his wife is forced to confront their beliefs. They must now turn to black magic by seeking the help of a famous occultist or risk losing their daughter. So, yeah, here's the thing. This also takes place in Nazi Germany, which already has its own looming horror and overshadowing at all times. Regardless of whatever's happening in this house or within the story, you're still in Nazi Germany, which plays a factor, that they're showing clips of Hitler throughout this. So you have to take that always with the overshadow of any possibility of just things just becoming worse or it being tied to the Nazis at some point, which is just an easy tactic to just double down on the horror factor here. And it worked good, especially with some of the things that kind of happen in this. But what I really liked about this film is the style of the cinematography, where all sorts of things are just kind of hiding in the background, and the low light shots. So you're having to pay attention to detail at all time. And like, quite frankly, this is why I love like a good ghost story. Like it's creepy, it's spooky, and your eyes are wandering, yet you're still centered on your lead, who does a good job, who makes you watch her at all times. But at the same time, too, there are things behind her as well and around her. And then like there's some really cool cinematography techniques and effects that really just amplifies a lot of the scene. Also, this film, it gives me a lot of parallels to a series that I was very high on. I'm sure you were too, and that's The Haunting of Hill House. The same sort of thing. You're in the house, all sorts of creepy things are happening. Some people are seeing it firsthand. Some people are seeing it secondhand. Some people are in disbelief. And as the viewers, we're just kind of just like, at the edge of our seat because we're seeing these things and we don't know what's coming next. And it follows the same suit. I love the characters in this. Very abstract. All of them are very interesting, and pairing them all together in different scenarios makes for really good dynamics. And because it all is a mystery of what's really going on with this house, what's really going on with these characters, that is really the driving factor of this film, is the whole unraveling as to what in the world is going on, what's real, what's not, and so on. With that being said, again, the cinematography was really good along with the effects, and then the good sound mixing, which is super important because there's times where it gets really quiet, but you're hearing little subtle sounds in the background. There's times where it's really loud, which I would definitely suggest you play this with the volume up a little bit. But it just all brought together the horror really good. So The Banishing, I enjoyed this film. Hopefully you will too. It is premiering April 15th. It is on Shudder as a Shudder original film. Absolutely check this out. Again, it is starring Jessica Brown Findlay, John Lynch, along with some other notable names that you may have seen before. So definitely check it out, folks. Let me know in the comments when you do. And as always, stay tuned because more reviews are coming really soon. Thank you so much for watching.